Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
This is the FunBelt Podcast, part of the Believe Network.
Hosts the Dusty Thibodeaux of Warhawk Report, Jeremy Harper of Howlraiser, and Shane Metlin of the Daily News Record.
I think it's potentially a very good week for the Sunbelts.
But I'm just kind of going off on a random rant. It's just frustrating. Back for another episode of FunBelt Podcast at Sunbelt Conference Media Days. Jeremy, we've already heard from your team, so I think you're kind of checked out.
I'm done. I'm about to pack up and leave.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry about the rest of the league.
No. You know, we've heard from the defending West champions.
Yes.
ULL, Lafayette, Louisiana, however you want to call them. We heard from Southern Miss, who, interestingly enough, Coach Jones said was like the defending champions because so many from Marshall came from Marshall to Hattiesburg. So that was kind of an interesting assessment. And then we heard from Arkansas State, too. Talked to Butch Jones and his team. And we got some teams left.
And I was proud of you for not fanboying.
You know what?
Butch Jones.
I worked so hard to make sure that you got equal time with Jones, with Jalen Rayner. So pat me on the back.
Sure. So what do you feel that we kind of learned out of those three teams, other than it feels like, I didn't know how to say
You know what? You have given me so much crap over the years of not being able to pronounce his name, and then he had to kind of judo slam you on that.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he had the best line, though, where he's like, I'm 39 years, I've been called worse. Desimo. There we go.
Yeah, Desimo. That's it. Yeah. Here are my overall thoughts. One, Arkansas State's Butch Jones seems more relaxed than ever. When he came to Jonesboro, very kind of uptight, arms crossed kind of guy. Kind of carried himself a little like Richard Nixon. You know, he was just sort of a tight guy. Now I feel like he's more at home, more comfortable with his team. He's in year 5. Seems good. Southern Miss new head coach, Coach Huff. You could tell that his mindset is, okay, I'm going from a championship team now to a team that might need a rebuild, but he seems real confident because he's got those guys. He's got Braylon Braxton. He's got, a good core of guys to come in. They're kind of picked really low in the Sun Belt West this year, but they might really be the team to beat with all those guys coming in. And then the team to beat, Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, Desimo? Coach Desimo? That's right, Coach Desimo, right?
I no longer comment. I don't know what to call him.
Coach D, man, he seemed like he was in a good place too. You know, he had a couple years where he was, I wouldn't say struggling, but wasn't keeping didn't have the Cajuns where the Cajuns like to be. Comes in with that Sun Belt West title. And he seems like he's pretty confident in this year as well. So, yeah, I thought we had 3 very confident coaches coming in.
I just hope that we can match that intensity in this episode when we break down the rest of the West, South Alabama, Texas State, ULM, and Troy. I don't remember what order they're in, though, Jeremy.
No, I don't remember either. But you know what? You said the right names, and that's all that counts.
That's, I guess, true after, I called Desimo the wrong name.
Yeah, you really got to work on that.
Yeah, it is what it is, but we'll see how this series of interviews goes.
Yes, and hopefully I'm not late for any of them.
Well, go get your snacks now so that you'll be ready.
Right.
Year 2 of Jared Parker with the Troy Trojans. Coach, it was a long season last year. But I will say this: it was a tale of two halves. It was the Troy we were used to seeing. I mean, by the time the season kind of came around, the second half of the year, did it just kind of take a little while for things to click in the new offense and the new scheme that you had brought to Troy?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you'd love to say that, and I just don't think it's that simple. I think it was all the new. I think it was I didn't do my job well enough for these players and this staff in the beginning, and I take full responsibility. And then it's a complete commitment by players really in playing for for nothing to play for in the postseason, and guys like this guy to my right saying enough's enough, and we practiced better. I mean, why did we start winning? We practiced better. We played better and earned the right to win football games. And same to my left. This guy wasn't playing, but he was practicing his tail off mentally, doing everything he could to participate without being out there to help our team improve. So it was a commitment by everybody to saying, hey, there's still a way we have to play football here to win and be proud of the product we're doing. And I think finally that culmination of that led us to playing winning football late.
So, Coach Parker, exceedingly well-balanced offense last year. First year, I think, for Troy to have 1,000-yard rushing, 1,000-yard receiving duo. I guess that Troy's ever seen. Are we going to see more of that this year, well-balanced offense?
Yeah, and balance comes in many different ways. I hope you see a more explosive offense. I hope you see shorter drives at times by our offense. And then if we have to hand it off and lay on people and do it in 13 and 14 personnel, we'll do that too. But it's going to be as multiple as it needs to be for us to find a way to win games on offense. But like I said, I think the biggest step will be him being out there and us creating explosives in our throw game at times too.
Him being Goose Crowder, returning for quarterback, injured last season, not before you threw a 98-yard touchdown to Devontae Ross.
Yes, sir.
Are we going to see more of that?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So take us through the offense. What are the big things that you've seen kind of improve from year one and headed into fall camp now of what are we going to see differently with this Troy offense?
Yeah. First off, obviously, we're super familiar with the scheme, offensive scheme, and staff, kind of the way everything's being taught and just the culture around the whole facility. As far as what to expect, I guess, we have a great wide receiver core. Through with them all summer, worked with them. I feel really confident in their abilities. And we have a very fast and dynamic running back room, and I'm super excited to see what they put on the field.
And you go head-to-head with this defense a lot in practice there. Tell us about Devin and kind of what we can expect out of that defensive side of the ball.
Yes, sir. Well, we're turning a lot on that side of the ball. Obviously, there's some great players, experienced players. And going against them just does nothing but help our offense get better day in and day out.
Devin Lafayette, second team all Sun Belt for Phil Steele, second all-team Sun Belt from the conference itself. Troy is kind of known as a defensively strong team. Why is it that Troy just every year fields a good defense?
I think it really started with the guys you got leading. Like I said earlier, we have someone named Jordan Stringer and Louis Medina who kind of already been a part of the defenses that Rhett have it. So, them being here and carry on kind of what the previous defenses did and bringing it to our defense is definitely the stride that we need to push our defense.
Now, as a senior, are you the old man on the team?
Yeah, I am. I'm on year 6, so I mean, they kind of call me Unc sometimes, but
that's the second time we've heard something like
everybody's
that.
Unc apparently.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what they call us, Jeremy.
They call us old and fat.
That's the truth.
So, have you spent that entire time at Troy? I'm sorry, I don't know this.
So graduated in 2020. I did 4 years up at NIU, and I transferred last year in January. So this will be my second year with Troy.
So you came with Coach Parker. Coach Parker
yes.
must have seen something in you.
Or it was a package deal. Maybe Troy got Devin and Coach Parker just came.
That could be true. Yeah, that could be the right thing. Yeah.
Coach, there's a lot of big names that have been through that office there in Troy, and none bigger than Larry Blakeney, who will be enshrined into the Hall of Fame this year. What's been that relationship like, or even kind of the stories you've heard about him that you try to live up to, that expectation?
Yeah, I mean, he set the bar for that program and taking it through 1AA to Division I and all that happened. I mean, he's being inducted with Nick Saban and Urban Meyer this year. That's unbelievable to be in that company and what he's done. He's been around enough to still get to give him a hug and be around as much as he can as he grows in age. But the stories, because we have enough guys on our staff that played for him or coached with him, and the stories are limitless. His unique way of creating some humor and the stories I've heard of the way he did that, but also have an edge and push, are second to none. It's the reason he's being inducted in the Hall of Fame. And I had a chance to meet him on my first trip down here as a high school coach when I just got out of college, and Just he had whatever that it factor was, communicate and have some charisma to him, but also push his staff. So really cool to see.
A lot of excitement there on campus there with Scott Cross, going dancing with the men's basketball. How do you kind of capture that momentum and bring it over to football for fan experience, engagement, and just kind of saying, hey, guys, this isn't a foreign concept. This can happen at Troy just like it did there.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Cross does such a great – I love how he coaches. He's hard-nosed and tough. Me and him have shared a lot of notes, especially in year 2, and building a really good friendship with him. Him and Shanna both, men's and women's basketball, set the bar for this season. They started us off in January and made 2 great runs, the women to the WNIT final, the men to the NCAA tournament. What a great way to keep on pushing through the year. And now we've got to let the torch pass to us and keep the vibes going.
Coach, the FunBelt West, so tough. Just a lot of great teams. Troy picked to finish 6th, but in a way it's like the West Division's 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, all down the way to 7A. How do you prepare for a division that's stacked from top to bottom? How do you have that wherewithal?
Well, you don't look at those rankings, whether we were 1st or 7th. I've told the players already, not with any meanness, but we were voted 2nd last year.
Yeah.
Shows what that was. Here's what we know. What we can control is us driving back to Troy tonight and these 2 guys working their absolute ass off tomorrow morning. What I can control is being there with them and dapping them up and working mine off as well, and not being concerned about where the ratings are and be concerned about improvement and getting better. And our team and organization have done that, and I think that mentality kind of not allow you to keep away from riding the wave of I feel good because this feels good or I feel bad. So I think that's the process. The process is how do we improve, keep improving, and then when we play really well, can you play even better?
Do you feel a little more relaxed? I mean, year 1, you have to bring in a whole team, a whole coaching staff. You're trying to get together. Year 2, it feels a little bit more like home.
Yeah, I feel at home. I feel more comfortable. I also feel more comfortable because I feel I've earned our players and staff's trust, and they've earned mine. Like I can say now to our football team, you know what we've been through. I love you. And the guys know I mean it. And when they say it to me, I think they do too. I mean, we know each other. We got a family. We figure it out. Yeah, they'll tell you the truth. But it feels like home because we're family now. We've got a legit family. And the family that has been there through the ugly and good, some good, have also brought in these new people and said, welcome. Here's how we do things. Let's go.
Goose, I know that you had the injury last year that kind of cut your season short, but I mean the opportunities were still there to try to go elsewhere. What brought you back to Troy to be a Trojan at least for one more year?
Right. Well, I'm a firm believer in it's the people, not the place. I love our locker room. I have a lot of great friends and relationships that'll go way past football, and I love the staff. I'm super familiar with them. I love, what Coach Parker just hit on as far as like the path to get better. I apply that in my daily life. Like, how can I get 1% better each day at whatever that is? And so I love that message. I love this program, and I love the community surrounding it. I really do.
You'll get to go one more place next year, provided you come back to Troy in Ruston, Louisiana, with Louisiana Tech coming to town. It's another bus trip. What are these bus trips like when you're on there?
Oh, man, they're hilarious.
It's not all business?
Oh, well, I mean, it depends.
Don't forget that your coach is right next to you. Just forget him for a second.
It's
don't stand on the bus. We know some programs do that.
Oh, yeah. Heard that story. They're awesome. I take it back to, I saw a clip where a team had just got eliminated from March Madness, and it was his senior year, and he didn't talk about, missing the game. He talked about missing the bus rides and the team meals and the locker room. And, that kind of hit me hard because I kind of see that right now, that's all, where the relationships are and, how just authentic it is. I mean, it's awesome.
Devin, do you enjoy the bus as much as Goose here, or are you like, nah, give me a plane?
Our bus rides are amazing. I love taking a bus ride. it's just something about being out there, like taking the bus with your guys. You joke around for a little bit. Everybody take a nap, then everybody get back up, joke around again. It's just good vibes. And then after the game, we'll talk about the game on the bus. Like, it's a good way for us to talk about the game, like talk about what we did wrong, what we felt like we did wrong. So I love bus rides, to be honest.
So this isn't where you're using the NLL money for, a Netflix subscription or anything like that?
Oh, no.
He's getting all this money, Coach, and I bet he still calls his mom. Mom, can I get the password?
Oh, hell yeah. That's the smart play right
Yeah,
there.
no.
I use their Disney Plus. For sure.
So you open up with Nichols. Are you focused on Nichols, or are you focused on some other teams?
I feel like right now, currently, we're just focused on getting better. Taking one day at a time. We got fall camp coming around the corner. We're gonna really develop our team some more, and then we'll be ready for Nichols whenever time comes.
Well, as living in Arkansas and having a rivalry with Memphis, I would appreciate if you guys really focused on beating Memphis. I can't stand those guys. So if you could go ahead and do that for me, I'll send you a little more NIL.
I don't think Coach Parker. I mean, if he had his way, you'd be a 1-11 team this year.
Yeah, that's right.
One win being Memphis, and he'll throw you a parade and everything else. But yeah, you can't do that to him. Jimmy.
Okay, I won't. I won't put that expectation on you, but we'll talk offline.
Guys, can't thank you enough. Look forward to seeing the Trojans throughout the season. And hopefully Adam Prendergast doesn't cut us off so that we can still talk to y'all going forward.
He's like a bouncer back there. Thanks, guys.
Butch Jones.
There you go.
Flying solo for Texas State, but GJ Kinney is here with the huge bling from a year ago. Coach, you win the Bubas Cup there for Sunbelt Conference. You get 2 bowl wins, and you're taking your ball and going home, man. How exciting is it to really have this one last showing in Sunbelt Conference before heading to the Pac-12?
Yeah, I think we're just excited about the season. I think, we have a lot to prove. We have a lot of guys with a lot to prove, players, coaches, everyone involved. So we're just excited about the season. I don't think we won't be getting in too much of the, this or that or whatever. We're just focused on ourselves right now. And I know that's probably a coach answer, but it's the truth.
How do you, Dorian, kind of take this offense and try to make the most of it this year, knowing that you've got a lot of new faces there on the offensive side?
Just set the standard and make sure those guys know what the standard is when they coming in, and to continue to build on that standard and just continue to grow. I feel like that's the best way to get that done.
So with that said, how do you kind of get familiar with a new quarterback coming into the mix and really just trying to get that offense up and running?
I say just reps, getting reps with them on your own after lifts, after practice, still getting extra reps with the quarterbacks, seeing how they set up and do all those type of things.
And then you are going head-to-head with the defense. Mm-hmm. What do you really kind of see out of this defense for 25?
I think we have potential to have one of the best defenses in the Sun Belt. So we got a lot of talent. That guy over there, one of the most talented guys on the defense. So just continue to grow on that talent and stay disciplined. That's really what we got to do, be disciplined as a defense.
Khalil, you're going head-to-head with this offense. Are you as complimentary and nice to him, or are you going to say, nah, they're not as good, the defense is a defensive team?
We'll be the toughest they face all year for our offense, but I have nothing but the highest of reviews about our offense. The numbers don't lie, though. The past 2 seasons, best offense in the Sun Belt, and it shows definitely. But that's the reason that we're growing so much is because of them. Going against them every day. You got to go against the best to be the best, and I feel like that's what we're doing.
It's kind of unique having Kelly Dampus as your president. Mm-hmm. Is he the bigger cheerleader or Coach Kinney for football?
Man, see, Coach I really listen. I don't see how President Dampus finds the time to be so involved. He makes time for us. He does everything a president is supposed to do and then some. So for him to be so involved with us, that's not just a regular thing around college football or college in general. So just to have him around is truly a blessing.
That's a great answer, because I saw Coach Kenny over here pulling up Greyhound. So if you didn't answer right, you were getting a bus trip instead of a flight home.
All right, I've been asking this all morning. Mm-hmm. I know I can get straight answers from you guys because you're neither one. Who talks the most shit on the football team? Is it the defensive backs or the wide receivers?
Oh,
come on, you can be honest.
Oh,
we're among friends.
Between those two?
Yeah, between those
definitely
two.
the DBs.
Okay, is that true?
DBs,
all right,
yeah.
how about
receivers and DBs.
How about in the trenches though, between the defensive linemen and the offensive linemen? I've heard it both ways.
I think it goes both ways.
Okay,
yes.
all right.
It really depends on the person.
Exactly. It depends on who's the one making the play. That's who you're gonna hear. You know.
But you guys let the deeds do the work, right? You don't talk.
No. We don't talk with other teams. With us, with each other. We give each other a hard time for sure. But when it comes to other teams, we don't really talk as much. You know, we let our plan do the talking. But when we in practice and stuff, it gets heated for sure. You know. That's a part of it.
So, Coach, the SunBelt West is probably I can't think of it. I thought it was competitive last year. It looks like it's just going to be even more competitive this year. Texas State said to pick second, but it seems like every team is 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. What's it? How do you prepare for a division as tough as the SunBelt West?
Yeah. First off, I was going to be a little disappointed you weren't here. You know, when we started this deal, you're in there. And
I was in there.
I know you do a great job, and you get after us a little bit, so I was making sure that you were here.
Then I was scared.
You were here to
I was afraid.
Yeah,
See, that's Coach Kenny getting you back for calling him JG the whole time.
I deserve it. I deserve all your smoke.
Okay. I think you is wide open. There's a bunch of really good coaches, a bunch of really good players. Obviously, with Coach Huff coming over to Southern Miss, and all the players that they brought, and the quarterbacks, the MVP of the conference. That's a team that that's going to be a lot better. I know that for sure.
Coach Butch Jones said something interesting when he was on the podium. He said it was like the team to beat this year was Southern Miss, because it's pretty much Marshall, the defending champion. Do you guys see it the same way, or?
I don't know. I think they're really good, and we'll kind of see what that looks like. But I'm not sure there is a team to beat. For us, obviously, Louisiana is a team that's really kind of had our number the last 2 years. So I would say of any teams for us, a team to beat would be those guys. But I think every team in the West, I look for Monroe to be really good. I think people are sleeping on them a little bit. I heard Coach Vincent talking about they did probably them and Louisiana probably retained the most, but I would imagine Monroe, just because of the guys that they had, probably have the most returning production. Maybe Arkansas State, obviously with the quarterback and Rucker and those guys and Cross coming back, but I know we lost a lot. Louisiana lost a lot. Southern Miss brought a lot in. South Al, lost a lot. So I think it's just going to be one of those deals. Let's kind of see what happens.
Well, I'll give you some insight. Coach Vincent did seem pretty confident in his team, didn't he? He seemed like he was didn't see that low ranking as accurate to his team, did he?
He is a guy that just doesn't give a fill in the blank of whatever you want to say there. That is just kind of level-headed and whatever.
Yeah,
but we're not talking about them, Jeremy.
No, why are we talking about the Warhawks?
I want to know more about...
It's always the Warhawks with you.
The media days is the suit show. So, Clip, your coach is always the G'd up. Did he give you the fashion tips for media day, or was this just kind of a on your own that you found that suit?
So I'm gonna start by saying this was all me. This was all me right here. But yesterday he kind of threw a little slick shot at me. He was saying, "Oh yeah, tomorrow." He told me and Dorian. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm crushing y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna crush y'all." I said, "Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. This is the money man right here." But I couldn't let him show me up too bad. So I got a nice little something on. This is my first time putting on a suit since 09 Easter Sunday. So
yeah, me too.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, there's only so much they could do. You know what I'm saying? That they have great NIL deals. I know, like great revenue share deals, but there's only so much they could do.
So Dorian, he puts the G in GK. He didn't try to push any kind of boots on y'all or anything like that?
He didn't.
He's not wearing the big belt buckle this year. Last year he had the belt buckle.
Yeah, well, I wore that for the Texas High School Coach Association deal, so you don't
you
wanna,
got to fit in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got the boots on.
I know he does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all he can afford. Man.
Don't let him or him trick you at all.
This is where I got to pull out, as the kids say, the unk move of back in my day. But Coach, you get ready to open up against Eastern Michigan. Yep. I know it's always a big game because that's the first game and kind of going through those motions, but that's still kind of the peer conference. Is that a big game just to kind of prove that, the Sun Belt, while you're still in it, is still better than MAC and still on the upswing?
Yeah, for sure. I look, those guys are going to be really well coached, first of all. They do a great job with that. They have a history of winning. They're going to be disciplined. They're going to be tough. They're going to run the football. And they're going to load that box and dare us to throw it. So, we'll dig into a little bit more of their personnel, a little bit more scheme-wise, as fall camp goes on. Obviously, this is kind of our season of time to kind of concentrate on ourselves and do some summer studies on some different opponents. But, I look for Eastern Michigan to be a really good team, and really glad we have them at home. That always helps, especially early in the season, and the heat and humidity is just always a little different when you come to Texas or Louisiana, especially for those teams up north.
And then heat, humidity, going to Tempe as well to face Arizona State. How do you kind of prepare your team for that, knowing that, again, with the future coming of Pac-12, you're going to be headed out west a lot and dealing with those later kickoffs, a different climate than maybe what you're used to?
Yeah, I think, obviously, first off, they won the Big 12 and a college football, playoff team from a year ago. So, but, I think the way we played them last year, obviously last year is last year, but, I think our guys will have confidence going into that game, and I think it's going to be cool. Anytime you get to, experience new things, and for us going out west and, playing in Arizona and playing in that type of environment is going to be huge for our guys. And, I'm just excited for them to be able to experience that. And obviously we're going there to win, but at the same time, just that environment will be really cool for our guys.
Good.
Guys, can't thank you enough. Hate that this is our goodbye as I wipe tears away. But we'll be there. I know I'll definitely be at Texas State for a couple games.
Awesome.
So look forward to seeing y'all there in person.
Yes,
For
sir.
sure. Thank you.
I appreciate y'all.
The Jaguars, as Jeremy likes to call them, of South Alabama.
I try my best.
Yeah, I already mispronounced.
You did?
The head coach of Louisiana Lafayette. I'll just leave it at that. I got to go back and remember how to say it again.
Everything you thought you knew to be true is false.
That is very true as well. But Darius McKenzie, linebacker for South Alabama, and Jordan Davis, offensive lineman, joins us along with head coach Major Applewhite. Darius, what brings you to the lower 48 from Maine by way of Canada, or I guess Canada, Maine, and then Mobile to continue your football career?
I think it was just a great opportunity to be able to come down here, play some great high-quality football, play for Coach Applewhite. I think what really caught my attention was the defense, the defensive coaches. We got great coaches, especially my linebacker coach, and just being down south is a nice switch up from being up north in the cold.
Did you miss the cold at all?
No, I don't miss it at all. I grew up in the cold probably for about 20 years, but after moving here, I'd say I love the heat, I love the weather, and I see myself staying down here in the future.
I'm sorry. Even as a Southern guy, if I had a choice,
we've had enough of this
all day long.
Darius, productive guy. Last year, 72 tackles. You get on this team that's really just known for its defense, at least at its time in the Sun Belt, just known for bone-crushing defense. Is it exciting to get on a team like this, known for its defense?
Yeah, it was very exciting, just being able to join an established defense with great players around me, guys like Blaine Myrick, Jaden Boyson, Wesley Miller just around me to push me. And it just made it easy to be out there with guys that I could trust out there and just join a great high-quality defense.
Is it true that Voisin is 60 years old?
Probably about there, late 50s. Been playing for a while.
Yeah, he has been here for a long time. So, Jordan, We see a lot of offensive linemen coming through here. Why do you think that offensive linemen are such a big choice to represent their teams at SunBelt Media Days?
Man, O-line, it's an important position, man. It's an important position, and to have a good team, I think you need to have a fantastic O-lineman. So, as far as why they come to Media Day, because that's an important part of the team, really.
What do you prefer, the pass blocking or pass protection or running?
Personally, man, I like running. I just like
offensive line always says that.
Yeah, physicality is unmatched, man.
Lose the quarterback there of Gio Lopez last year that was, a great back, but not really that much of a step down with Bishop Davenport, who led y'all through the bowl game. What's been the difference that you've seen blocking for them?
As an O-lineman, man, you always it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is. The O-lineman is the O-lineman, But I do love what I've been seeing from Bishop, coming every day. He's working. He's getting extra work, And I think he's going to be great, man. So it's just another great quarterback to block for.
Darius, you get to go head-to-head with this offense. What can we see out of this offense?
You're going to see a really explosive offense. They definitely can establish the run right away, but they like to mix it up a lot of different personnel, just airing the ball out all over the field, and there's really like a very unique, diverse offense.
And Jordan, defense, they keep y'all in check, or are y'all blowing up the defense?
Oh, yeah, most definitely keep us in check, man. Iron sharpen iron. It's only one way up.
So what you're saying is the Jag defense is not very good, is what I hear.
That's right? What I'm hearing.
No, I did not say that.
I'm hearing this. Breaking news. SunBelt Media Days.
Coach Applewhite, second year for you in the program. What was the big learning experience that you had that you carry over to this year?
Just constantly learning. There's always room to grow, always room to develop. And I would say with the constant changing of rules and kind of dates, and whether it be portal or when your signing date is, or what you can officially visit, or when you can go in home and see a parent, with those things constantly changing, it's really hard to sit there and say one thing that you can get better at. It's not like the rules have stayed the same long enough to where you can say this is what I need to get better at. Really the one thing you need to get better at is adapting. Probably reaction time from when you find out something's changed to when you start actually working on it. Probably is the biggest thing that you can actually improve on, is just your reaction time, because the rules are just constantly moving. It's not like baseball where, hell, the rules haven't changed. The bases are still the same amount of feet apart. Still the same amount of strikes, still the same amount of balls. You're just trying to improve on certain skills. They're constantly changing rules. So from a head coach standpoint, it's just a moving target, and I think that's the one thing that to try to answer your question as best I can, adaptability, is the one thing that I've tried to just continue to get better at.
Coach, last year was sort of sort of a streaky season. You'd win two, you'd lose two. You'd win two, you'd lose two. How do you maintain the consistency this year to get through it?
That's always the age-old question. Kind of the sword and stone. It's that's what dependability is what you're looking to find. 22 across the board. People that aren't going to jump off sides, people that aren't going to get a personal foul or a pass interference call. People that are going to be able to execute when called upon. And I talked to the team about that. You hope it always, kind of goes in there and marinates and resonates. Sometimes it's, deaf ears it falls on, but your coaches are only going to call what they can depend on. It's just the same thing whether you ask a friend to do something for you. You're only going to call the friends that you think can actually get it done. You're not going to just call some random friends and be like, yeah, I hope this happens. You're going to call people you think can actually get done or care enough to get it done. And so that's really no different in coaching. It's trying to find those guys that you can depend on that can give you consistent results that hopefully give you more consistency throughout your season.
Talk about consistency, but the transfer portal and NIL makes the whole landscape a little inconsistent. How have you been able to handle that situation?
I think you just take it as it comes. People have always switched jobs. People have always wanted more money. That has never changed. The rubber meets the road, and at some point it's time to do the job. And you just try to find people that enjoy what they do, like to be good at what they do, regardless of what they're getting paid. Certainly more money makes us happier, because this world does cost things. But at the end of the day, with all this portal and this, that, and the other, it's hard to meet people and really get to know them quickly at a deep level, and you just got to hope that you're finding people that genuinely love competing and just want to win, regardless of what they're getting paid. They just have a pride about them. They want to be a winner.
Jordan, able to get the belt. One of I know the best feelings that you can have. How do you convey the meaning of that game to a newcomer like Darius?
Man, there's rivals everywhere. I try to implement what this rivalry mean. Us and Troy, it's a big rivalry, in-state rivalry, and just a big rival, man.
So, Troy has the deal where there's no S's and things. You can't say South and all that. What does South have for Troy?
Like for last year, it's a home game. When we played them, they'll cross out T's around campus and stuff. So it's like a little campus tradition they do. You might even see it on social media. So they'll put an X for the T, and yeah, that's what we do.
I love it, man. Rivalries bring out the most pettiness, and that's what I absolutely love about it.
I love the pettiness. That's why I like Louisiana Tech coming on board.
I hate those guys.
Everybody hates them.
Darius, what do you know about this rivalry coming into the program?
I've been here for one season so far, but what I do know is that it means a lot around here. The people of the city take it very seriously, and it's definitely a big game. And I knew it was very important to go in there and go dominate and win it.
NCAA football, it's out. You can actually play as Coach Major Applewhite. Have you edited him and changed up his hair, his looks, or anything like that?
Personally, the only thing I've done in the game is play as myself. I just go as South Alabama, and I use myself as linebacker the whole game.
All right, now accurate representation of your skills?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay, all right. We got to make sure. All right, now, I know as an offensive lineman, I'm going to get the straight dope from you. I'm going to get no, bull from you. Who talks the most shit, the defensive backs or the wide receivers?
Probably gotta go with DB.
Oh yes, it's always the DBs.
Well, yeah. Well, you think about it. All right, a DB, he doesn't necessarily know what the call is, and he's still able to make the play. As opposed to a receiver, he knows he's got to get to that
receiver
spot.
has to be more reserved. Yeah, I get that. All right. So in the trenches, who's doing the most trash talking, the offensive lineman or the defensive lineman?
Honestly, man, it really depends who you got on that O-line. like for us, I know a couple of my guys.
Yeah?
There's been some games where they talk defense line, don't say nothing, and there be some games where it go back and forth. So, but I do know my guys do talk. But
not you. You're the quiet guy. You just let your deeds speak for yourselves. Is that?
Yeah, more so. I might say some things a couple times.
Maybe it's the suit, but he's turning red, dude. You're making me blush.
Coach, do you want to weigh in on who talks more crap, the defensive backs or the wide receivers?
It's a toss-up.
Okay.
It's a toss-up.
Very diplomatic. Got anything else for the team?
That's all I got. Always look forward to seeing the Jaguars play and seeing what year two for your regime looks like.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Jeremy's favorite team, ULM Warhawks, join us. Billy Pullen,
I love the
defensive end, and tight end Nate Sullivan. Guys, last year, decent year, 5-7 overall, but not really, the end that you wanted there, dropping 6 straight. What were maybe the lessons you learned from the season last year?
Mainly just not to get ahead of ourselves. We were 5-1. We were looking forward to that ball game, but I think we just got too ahead of ourselves, and we didn't take it week by week.
Nate, what was the big lesson that you had there from last year as you kind of get ready for this upcoming season?
As Billy stated, we got a little bit ahead of ourselves, and I think the biggest thing is just with this season, the mindset is finishing, playing all 4 quarters of football, and having that mindset.
Last year, I think there were 1,000 new guys that came in on the roster. This year, having a little bit of continuity, kind of familiar faces. How much better is that going into the season, being prepared?
It's a lot better. The chemistry this year compared to last year is night and day. This year, we're way closer as a team. We bond together, and I think that's the most important thing in doing what we want to do and accomplishing the goals we want to accomplish.
You lose Ahmad Hardy to the transfer portal, but some people stay too. Why do people stay at ULM in this age of transfer portaling left and right?
I think it's a commitment thing. If you're committed to a program, and you have a relationship with your coaches and the players on the team, That's the biggest and the most important part.
Billy, Nate said that the attitude this year is a little different from last year. Last year was a lot of new guys, a lot of people getting to know each other. This year a little different. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, last year we had like 73 new players, a whole new coaching staff. Everyone was just getting to know each other. This year, we lost Ahmad, we lost Wadet. That's pretty much it. I mean, a lot of people came back, and, you know, our team's really growing together. Like, you can see it every week. We're just getting closer as a team and feel good about it.
Billy, you're a rural Texas guy, and you have one of the biggest characters and personalities of the team in Mackenzie Ryan. Do you understand anything that guy says?
At first, I didn't really know what he was saying. But yeah, Mackenzie's a cool dude. He's a great punter, a great person. I mean, I love Mackenzie. We all do.
Are you jealous of the mullet that he has, though?
A little bit. A little bit. I can't lie.
Nate, you're a hair guy. Are you jealous of the mullet?
I'm a little jealous. I wish I could pull that off myself.
You ever tried?
Never tried it.
Coach won't let you?
He would let me.
Coach, second year at ULM. First year, you came, maybe didn't know what to expect, still putting stuff together. You're in your second year. Much more comfortable?
Absolutely. I think having the highest retention in the Sun Belt is a big deal. And that says a lot about what I believe, the belief of the players, the belief of the coaches, and really that says a lot in today's college football. There's no doubt, I think, having the continuity of majority of the staff back, our strength staff, having the same schemes offensively and defensively and in special teams. Now the players know it's not all new. A lot like what Billy said is that continuity is a big key to success. And understanding and having comfort is a big deal. So, we go into January, we understand the weight program, we understand the speed program, we understand the offense and defense. And plus, we also, the players know who they are and know who their teammates are. And I think, coming in and bringing in 73 guys, now that was a challenge in itself, obviously, because you're putting 73 new guys in a locker room that's going to play in a good league to win football games. And this offseason has been one of the best off seasons, if not the best, that I've been a part of in going on 29 years. And that's because it's becoming player-driven. Year one's always coach-driven. We're showing them, we're leading them, we're teaching them how we do things, the mentality, the toughness, the discipline, the standards of what we believe in. And now the players are kind of leading the charge, and it's player-driven. And when that happens, that's when it really turns around.
Coach, you opened the season with maybe the least recognizable team that I've ever heard, St. Francis. I don't know them. But then the next week, you open up with perhaps maybe the most recognizable team with Alabama. How do you handle that off-on switch there?
To me, I think everything's based off your experience and what you've been through as a coach, as a player, even as a man. And what we went through last year, we have not forgotten. I wake up every day and I challenge myself and say, how in the world, as the leader of this program, did you let us lose six? I put it all on my shoulders. Did we lose 6 straight games? I don't care who we play. Yeah. And I'm just being honest because I'm extremely critical of myself. But, we've got that. We remember last year. We remember how close we were, and we had all those opportunities. Now, we fought our way into those opportunities, make no mistake, but how close we were. And this team wants to come out here, and they've got a purpose and a passion to finish this and to get this team back into the second bowl game and to win it. And, we put our goals high. Our goal, we want to win the West, and we want to host the conference championship game, and we want to win it. And we're not going to back down from that. And I know we walk in here and they go, oh, y'all are picked 14th and the 7th. Well, let me tell you something. You ain't played this team. And this team will be ready. I promise you this. And I've got a lot of confidence in this team. And I'm not just saying this because I'll tell you the truth. Last year, our goal was to try to get to 6. To fight our tail off to get to 6. Our goal this year is to win the West. And I think this team is capable.
Nate, you get to meet a bunch of defensive players here at Media Days. Any kind of smack talk that goes on with them, or is it just kind of the friendly banter of, a bunch of student athletes hanging out?
A bunch of student athletes hanging out. Smack talk will come during the games.
So there's been no kind of tension, like, even last year I remember this or that, or this year we're going to do that.
Just want to take it game by game this season.
I mean,
he's trying to get some juice out of it.
I gotta get it.
I'm already not going to get it, is he?
I mean, there's a lot of offensive linemen here. I mean, are they going? You don't look as big as you did last year in the game.
Nah, they didn't say nothing to me, but you know, I don't really like to talk a lot. Maybe in the game a little bit, but nah, man.
Billy, as a linebacker, I know I'm going to get like the straight dope from you. Who talks the most shit? The defensive backs or the wide receivers?
On our team, our DBs are kind of quiet, I guess.
Really? Okay, because I keep hearing that those guys are not necessarily the Warhawks guys, but the defensive backs are the ones
on
that
our
are
team,
talk all the trash.
I think our linebackers will talk the most.
No kidding. All right.
Look, even Vince is going, yep.
Yeah, he agrees. Coach Fitz, I did want to talk to you a little bit about that 6-game losing streak. ULM comes into the season last year with not a lot of expectations. New head coach, new players. It was like, let's see what happens. But actually comes out gangbusters. Loses a little bit of momentum at the end of the year. Now picked to finish, what was it, next to last?
13th overall, 7th in the West. Thanks for pointing it out, Jeremy.
Yeah, but it seems a little crazy. It seems like the team did so well last year, you seemed like you would get more of a benefit of the doubt. Is that a motivator for this year?
I think it is. I mean, we've always been counted out. To be honest with you, I think that I've always had a chip on my shoulder my whole career. We built this locker room with players that had a chip on their shoulder that were counted out, that people didn't believe in or they didn't think this. So this team was built for this mission. And this team, I don't think they got a chip. They got a boulder on their shoulder this year. And, it is what it is. We started out 5-1, and I own everything that goes on in this program. But we've also built this team to be able to overcome the things that we weren't able to. We got bled out last year on times on defense. We couldn't stop the run. And so we went out and we got bigger bodies interiorly to be able to help stop the run and to really give guys like Billy and Cavante Wells and Jalen Callender and Davin Anderson to really free them up, because we were able to bring in guys interiorly that can really cause havoc.
Nate, we all know that Elijah Fisher has probably the biggest personality on that whole offensive line. And I don't even think it does it justice when you say it that way. Who's the other face or personality that we should all know about?
Probably my peer, Julian Nixon.
Julian Nixon.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for Julian
All
Nixon.
right. Now I know who to talk to. I'll be like, Nick said. So, he's going to give you some grief there. Coach, new president and coming on the bayou there, what's that relationship like, and how important is it to have a good president to really kind of help athletics overall?
I think the whole key is the president. It all starts at the top. It starts at the president to the athletic director, then it funnels down to the head coach. And I couldn't be more excited to have President Castile as our president. We have a great relationship. I think we're very similar people. She's very driven. She's very energetic. She's very passionate about building this university to be the best it can be. She loves athletics. She's all about academics. I think she is the perfect storm that this university needed and the perfect leader that we needed. I couldn't be more thrilled. I wake up every day with a smile knowing that President Castile is our president.
Well, speaking of perfect storm, Louisiana Tech enters the league next season. A lot of talk around it. A lot of people have an opinion about it. Does Coach have an opinion about it?
I have a great opinion about it. I like it. I want them in. They're 20 minutes down the road. If we're trying to create excitement and we're trying to make football and our schools bringing attention and bringing, just all the things. I've heard so many stories since I've been here about the rivalry of ULM and La Tech. I think it's going to create excitement and energy, and I think it's great for both schools in Northeast Louisiana. I really do.
I think that's all we have for y'all. Greatly appreciate it. Look forward to see the Warhawks here in 2025.
Warhawks.